We hear our friends in the NDC criticizing and attacking this government all over the place. The question is, what alternative policies have they, if any? We are aware that the NDC served in government for 8 years. They were in office from 2009 to 2017 January 6th. 8 years in office. President John Dramani Mahama was a vice president in their first term, and when President Mills passed on, he took over. So he was president for 4.5 years. The NDC MPs who today are criticizing the Akufo-Addo government were the same MPs and ministers of state during the NDC administration, an administration that Ghanaians know failed the people of Ghana. Now let's deal with some facts. School feeding, a policy that was introduced by President Akufo, was aimed at supporting the vulnerable in our society, so that parents who, because they did not have money to feed their kids could not go to school, could have access to education. As at the time the NDC left office, only 1.6 million Ghanaian children had access to school feeding. Today, under Akufo-Addo's government, we have 4 million Ghanaian children benefiting from school feeding, meaning that almost all schools, primary, JHS, almost all schools in this country, basic schools, are having access to this all-important social intervention program. So the NDC cannot turn around and say that this government has done nothing. Let's go to NHIS. It was Akufo who introduced the health insurance policy. When the health insurance policy was in Parliament, the bill was in Parliament, the NDC boycotted the health insurance policy. We know the state of medical care in the country prior to the assumption of office by the NPP in the year 2001. NPP spoke about the need for the health insurance when in opposition. And when we came into office, the health insurance policy was introduced. These were the same people who said the health insurance policy was not practicable, that we could not implement that policy, and as a developing economy, where would we get the money to implement it? We came into office, we implemented it. They came into office, the health insurance policy collapsed. We all know, we remember, the healthcare facilities in the country that complain about non-payment. This led to reduction in patronage of our health insurance. As of 2016, NDC government was spending around 1.6 billion in paying health insurance claims. Today, this government is spending 6.55 billion Ghana cedis in paying health insurance claims. This should tell you our commitment to the healthcare needs of our people. Let's go to LEAP, the Livelihood Empowerment Program. At the time they were leaving office, those who were benefiting from this program, the amount the NDC committed as of 2016 was 49 million Ghana cedis. As of today, and check from the budget, the records, 2023 figures alone, I'm not even referring to the 2024 figures, an amount of 423 million. 423 million has been committed to livelihood empowerment program. What does this do? What is it all about, livelihood empowerment program? We have many people who are very poor, many households who are very poor, people who do not even have money to buy food. And this program is aimed at reaching out to the many poor people in our rural areas, households that otherwise could not afford 3 square meters. And this is what we have done. Now let me go to the almighty free SHS. Our friends in the media, it is important to point out to you that the NDC committed in 2016, committed 25 million to support secondary education. At the end of the financial year, only 12 million of the so-called the 25 million had been released. Today's Ghana, NPP, when we assumed office, immediately in the March budget, you know, we assumed office in January 2017. In March 2017 was when we brought the first budget, Akufo-Addo Bawumia budget. We committed 400 million Ghana cedis to start the free SHS, not in silos, not progressive. It was an all-inclusive package, free SHS in terms of payment of fees and in terms of expanded infrastructure. Today, the NDC cannot point to a single school in this country that has not seen infrastructural development or expansion. In fact, their own e-blocks, they could do only 23 or so. We came in, we have done 32 more, and the rest are still ongoing. Vocational training education in Ghana today is free. It has seen massive increase in enrollment. And in fact, without adding vocational training, vocational and technical education to the record, under the free SHS policy alone, we have seen an astronomical increase in the number of enrollment to 1.6 million compared to the 800,000 we came to meet. So in real terms, the policy has yielded the needed fruits because more Ghanaian children are having access. And is this what the NDC is claiming to be a failure of this government? Obviously, this can never be a failure. Now, we, the majority caucus, are by this calling on President John Dramani Mahama, former president of Ghana and flag bearer of the NDC, not to run away from the debate, not to stay away from debating Dr. Bawumia. We are not afraid of the facts and the figures. We are not afraid of our track record. We know that we have not achieved 100% success. We concede that there are challenges, but we are far better in terms of governance. It is the reason why our flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, is ready to debate on the issues. We don't believe in politics of name calling, politics of insult, politics of insinuation, and all. We believe that the facts can speak for themselves. And the only way to give Ghanaians the opportunity to compare and contrast and to look at which of the two parties really has them at heart is for us to have a debate. So the NDC should not run away from any debate. There should be no excuses for debate. Debate is the only means of determining who is best suited to run the country from 2025. In any event, Dr. Muhammad Bawumia has already outlined his vision for the country, that he is going to create an economy anchored on digitalization. If NDC wants to challenge that, the only way to do it is through a debate. Now, to end it, yesterday, when the finance minister presented a media review statement to Parliament, the minority leader made reference to page 107, Appendix 2A of the 2024 media review document to make a claim that because we have accumulated 4.5 billion in the payable build-up line, we have breached an IMF target on no accumulation of arrears and payable. This claim is not correct. There are two targets under the IMF supported program which relate to arrears and payable. Namely, one, the primary balance on commitment basis, a quantitative performance criteria, and two, the net change in the stock of payables of the central government and of payables to IPPs and an indicative target. By the way, the NDC went under an IMF program. All the variables derailed. All the targets that they were supposed to meet, they could not. A year around this time, in 2016, the IMF had come to Ghana and had packed and left off because they failed to meet their own targets. Now the Appendix A that was cited relates to the target on the primary balance on commitment basis. The reference made was specifically on net change in the stock of payables. So you are dealing with two components, the arrears clearance and accumulation of payables. So once the minority leader mentions payables of 4.5 billion, what he forgot was that the government cleared as much as 19.4 billion of outstanding payables. This resulted in a net position of negative 14.8 billion, which directly improves the primary balance on commitment, as per the measures indicated in the budget statement. So really, he was again trying to throw dust into the eyes of Ghanaians, and we feel that the records speak for themselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, without more, I would want to end here on behalf of the caucus by reiterating our call on our former president, who is a flag bearer of the NDC, that for Ghanaians to really know who is ready to address the challenges in the economy, he should join in the debate. Let the two of them debate on the issues. Nobody should run away from the debate. And it is only through a debate that we'll know who is really ready to run the economy of this country. Thank you.